Yeah.
Oh,
So
What was that first thing that made you to go for diagnosis?
towards the middle of 2022, I accidentally found a lump on my breast.
I thought I have to go to the doctor for some consultation. And then when I was there, it snapped in my mind, Mamo.
For some reason, I'd heard stories in the beginning of the year, and it was a coincidence. I feel like, there was some sort of spiritual connection with people telling me out of the blue that they got cancer, and my finding the lump on my breast, in my breast. So immediately I found a lump. I quickly went to the doctor, and I did a mammogram.
The radio asked, any breast cancer in the family? I said yes. So we saw something and it doesn't look good. That's it. So I was like 2 years. 2 years I didn't have the checking and something grew. They said it's very small. It's only 0.6 centimeter and so the full biopsy says it's breast cancer stage 2. So I was blessed. The oncologist still considered it as early detection.
it's a complete state of denial. A lot of people say it's just a ringing in the ear. It's just a ring. I have no idea what you told me after that for the next 15 minutes.
So she said, how am I going to tell you this? This is suspicious for malignancy. I said, doctor, tell me I will die? So she said, no, but you should act immediately.
When the doctor called me, I will never forget where I was. And he told me, listen, you have breast cancer. He didn't say, come into my office. I don't know, maybe because he thought I was one tough cookie, because I had seen him before, and I was like the one forcing them to carry on the test and all of that. I was really adamant about all the tests and results. So he just said it to me over the phone.
It takes time to accept such a big diagnosis. Everyone will go through these normal, cycles of denial, then depression, then acceptance, then dealing with it. And everyone will go through those cycles in their own, maybe each part might be of a different thing. Some of them are very practical. Oh my God, this is it. Okay, I believe in God. Things will be just fine. I will deal with it and I will be good. Yes. Oh my God, it is a pleasure, because those people are just so inspiring that you get such a blow and you deal with it with such courage. I think these are the moments which actually are so defining for us as well, because we learn so much there, truly.
I went to a nun and talked to her, and she told me the first step in healing is courage. And then you move on because you have courage, you acceptance. And then everything will be okay. Actually, just 2 weeks back, I met her again. And I was enrolling my kid to catechism, and I told her, sister, you met me. I know you will not remember me, but we met here 5 years ago, and we prayed together for me to be healed. I had cancer. Oh dear, she said like that. Sorry, I can't remember, but I'm sure he heard our prayer. I said yes, because I'm still here.
I think when my father-in-law told us that he had cancer, and then when we asked him, what type of cancer do you have? And he said, breast cancer. We were all speechless.
Men can have breast cancer. That's why I always tell men that, any lump that you feel on your chest, any small thing, any change, really they should also examine themselves. And women, if they feel it on their husband's chest, like if they feel like a lump is coming, just tell them, go get it checked.
To keep things very simple, breast cancer is basically of 3 main types, but you cannot just absolutely categorize it as 3 main types because it has so many subcategories. But there are 3 main types. One is which you normally call hormone sensitive, one which you called triple negative, which is not sensitive to hormones, and there is another mutation which is called HER2/neu, which is negative, and the third type is the HER2/neu positive breast cancer. So these are the three main subtypes, but this is, I'm just simplifying the whole thing because of course there are a lot of subcategorization within it.
Okay, so one thing we should know is that breast cancer, it is multifactorial, and it's not, I tell you one risk factor that basically this is linked to breast cancer, there's no such thing. It's multiple factors. There are risk factors and there are protective factors. The risk factors that come into play a lot is family history, basically. So whenever we have family history, we are slightly higher than the general population's risk. As women, we are all at risk. This is the scary thing. But whenever you have a family history, you should tell your physician because we will treat you a bit differently. And we know that you have a higher risk than the general population, which is 1 out of 8 women in their lifetime will develop breast cancer.
Because of the technological advancements, I genuinely think that the number of people getting diagnosed is increasing because people are getting aware, and because of which they are, of course, getting themselves investigated earlier. I think that could also be possibly one of the reasons why we feel that the breast cancer is on rise of late. Probably it was already there, but the awareness was not so much. And now that people are getting themselves investigated and we are finding earlier stages. Another thing is that the diagnostic techniques have improved a lot. Now it is easier, the MRIs are there, the mammograms are brilliant quality. We can detect them quite fast. So earlier, when patients would come to us, when things were really, really advanced, now we are quite fortunate to catch things a little early in comparison.
But the symptoms that they should be aware of are basically having a lump in the breast, feeling a lump. Sometimes they tell me, how will I feel it? If there is something wrong, you will feel it. Any change in the breast size, so that's why after the shower or before the shower, just look in the mirror, make sure they're symmetric, make sure everything looks the same. The size of the breast should be more or less symmetric. There is differences, but you know the difference from the beginning. So any change in the size, any change in the skin texture, if it becomes thickened, so even the skin might be a sign of a breast cancer. Always get it checked. If the skin is being pulled in as if there's a mass or something inside that might be pulling it, this is also an alarming sign. And the last but not least, the nipple. The nipple, most of patients have it pointed outward. So if it's pointing inward for some reason after some time, it might be that there might be something inside that is pulling the nipple in. And nipple discharge, if we have bloody nipple discharge or like greenish, rusty nipple discharge. These are the alarming signs, but I tell patients, anything that you think is abnormal, any small change, come and get checked. Because patients, they know their body more than we do. So I always tell them that you know your body better than I do. You might tell me something and I tell you it's completely normal. I tell them, no. If you think in your gut there is something wrong, go see another doctor, a fourth, fifth doctor, until you are 100% reassured that you know there is nothing.
When that paper came out, the not yet sure stage, suspicious. When it came, it's a WhatsApp message to everyone. I said, this is my result. And they're telling, no, that's not true. He said, maybe mommy, you should go to another doctor. So, okay.
My father-in-law was a very, very strong person, and he dealt with a lot of this on his own in the beginning. It took him some time before he told us. I can't imagine what he was going through when he got the news, but it took him a little time before he was able to tell us. I feel that he wanted to process it himself.
I was really worried about that. I told my husband first, and telling the kids, my first son was writing exams, so I didn't want to tell him. But I remember he was actually a huge tool in making me really hurry with the results, because he kept on saying, Mom, what, because he already knew that I had found a lump. And so he was like, Mom, when are the results coming out? So
until the time I decided to have the surgery and the biopsy is final, it's there. So my husband, very supportive husband, he said, hey, don't cry, because I was not crying, but he was telling me immediately, don't cry because the doctor said this is early detection and we can do this like that. So kids also were very supportive.
I told the little one first, because the little one was home with me, and I explained to him what he would be seeing in the next months, and he understood. He was fantastic, just very supportive. When family hears the support is unbelievable. It's next level because they end up being extra, especially with boys that just say, Mom, do this for me or help me do this. They just switch so quickly.
They feel guilty about enjoying. They feel guilty about going out, doing anything fun, even smiling, because they feel that if my partner is struggling and is so unhappy, how dare I? I mean, how will she feel? So somehow they also become like an extension of the patients. It's not easy. It is not easy, the contribution of the family, genuinely.
They were surprised, but they did not cry. But something we learned from, I said there's a cancer history in the family, because that case, there was no treatment given on her. So something like my kids told me, Mommy, you should have the treatment. Don't be like what we have witnessed before, my auntie. I think immediately my relationship to my family and to God has strengthened, and it is really something beautiful that it happened quickly, and you see how people come together.
I would say for me, the biggest change is, to be honest, I took advantage of it. My kids were now the doting kids, catering for mom and my husband, of course. So,
like people in the hospital were surprised there's a party coming. So you don't see people. Before, when I called other relatives, let's meet together, they don't come. But when they heard about what happened to me, immediately they came.
Oh, they love me. They did not take me for granted. So yeah, that was how it went. And it's still like that till now. So it's a wonderful change. It's a blessing.
My biggest fear, believe it or not dying. My biggest fear is if my children will get it.
Everyone's greatest fear is, oh my God, I'm going to die and leave my kids. So that's especially moms, you're like, oh, what are they going, how are they going to cope without me?
At that time, I was ready to go. If that is God's will. If that is God's will, but I cannot feel it because he said, I'm strong. So I have to fight. That's why I understood, okay, because I'm not weak, because it's early detection. It's just there. So it has not spread yet. So I have to fight.
I think everyone fears for their health secretly, because especially when you see other people around you who are not well. But I try not to think about that too much, and I just do what I can to stay healthy as much as I can. I try to not delve or stick to any fear because it just magnifies, right? The more you think about something and you're fearful of it, it just grows.
But the thought of, I got this from auntie, and who's next? Not my children, please. That's my biggest fear.
100%. What is that quote? A healthy man has many wishes, but an unhealthy man only has one: to be healthy. That's all that person wants. If you don't have your health, when you're healthy, you have so many wishes. But when you're not healthy, you only have one wish.
You see, my story is a bit different. I never took my body for granted. I never slacked on exercising and eating right. I never did that. For some reason, I even gave up eating some foods that I thought were health risks, And so to hear that I was diagnosed with cancer was a bit baffling.
Sometimes when you are not sick, when you're living a normal life, you're thinking God is just there listening to us, and you don't do extra effort to praise Him. You don't do extra effort to thank Him.
You really start thinking about the hardships you have, and you realize that you're absolutely fine. Like, your hardships, when compared to somebody having cancer, are almost nothing. You start really being grateful for everything that you have. And it's just a new perspective, because you just feel so blessed that you're okay, your life is okay, you're healthy, and you really want to be more positive about everything that you have, because that can be taken away from you very quickly.
So I'm no doctor, but I would say that later in the months and years now, I found out that a big contributor was stress.
So when I got this cancer, I asked myself, oh my God, am I being punished? Because sometimes like this, like that, it has changed me and the people around me. Because now when I hear myself, how I talk to the one up above, I said, oh, is this me? How I talk? Why I know these things? I'm not like this before. Like I know how to talk now to him.
It has been a long and, a long journey where I learned at each step of this journey how to become more resilient and how to become more hopeful. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we are so taken by our thoughts, by our problems, by our issues, and we forget that we are connected to a world around us and to people around us that depend on us. So sometimes you might think, oh, what I do is boring. I don't see myself in this job. I don't like my life. Sometimes we think that, we have a lot of problems.
I'll be very frank with you. Once I chose oncology, I wanted to run away from this field within 6 months. I was determined to quit. I was like, I cannot deal with it emotionally. I cannot deal with so many people being so depressed. Because initially, maybe because I was depressed, so I kept seeing everyone depressed.
But I've realized that through the journey and through talking to this woman, because I believed like my job, it might be, very monotonous, a boring job. And I realized, what? No, I'm going to make it more interesting. I'm going to get to know these women that I see. I'm going to make a connection with them. And this really helped me to know them, to help them, to give them hope. And at the same time, they helped me by giving me more fulfillment and made me realize that, this is my passion in life. It's not just about reading a mammogram or doing an ultrasound. It's about the connection that you create with human beings around you. For me, it's women, because this is the majority of what I see.
But with time, I learned this example, that some patients deal with it so well. This is it. I will deal with it and move on with life. So this is what I learned from them, that tough conditions come, but you need to be able to face it more, less emotionally and more practically. I think this is what I've truly learned.
So for me, you are here in this life because you have a role, and we all have to do as much as we can in the place that we are, because this is where we should be, because we always look at where we might be, where we might reach, our future. No, look in the time being, at the present, at your job, whatever it is. Believe me, whatever your job is, you can make a difference by just putting more effort, making more connections, showing that you care, and this is what patients like, when they see that you are genuine and that you really care about them and you're not doing any job. It makes a difference. So this is what has changed in me. In the first, as a doctor, they teach you that you have to be this is the book. And I realized I don't like it this way. I want to be human.
Yes, I never lost hope. I believe I have inspired people about that thing because they never saw me cry. They never saw me feel sad like that. But maybe because I'm trying to do that for my family, my children.
My re-engineered hope will be to come out on the other side because I'm still going through treatment, but being able to help people, being able to take this journey as something positive. You know, everyone says, when you say, I have cancer, people go, I'm sorry. I tell you, that annoys me. Yeah, I'm so sorry to say it bluntly, but that's not what you should say when someone says they have cancer.
Yeah. I mean, when people are in that condition and yet they trust the Almighty, they trust themselves, they trust their body, and they have the courage to deal with it. They just don't give up. It's just there.
Okay, one time someone gave me a wig. She told me, I'm thinking about your youngest daughter. She would feel depressed seeing you becoming bald. I said, really? She would feel that way. So when I really went bald, my daughter told me, oh my God, Mommy, you're so pretty. So now I discovered I'm prettier when I'm bald. So I said, this is all happening for a reason. I would learn to love myself more because of cancer, it has changed me and it has changed the people around me.
I wish people would say, praise God, or, something like that, because this journey is something I'm happy about. It sounds weird, but my life is totally different for the better. And not everyone will be able to see it.
So seeing that courage, that's when I truly realized that I'm very fortunate to be sitting on the other side of the table. I really am. It's just so simple. It's just a switch. I can just be on the other side just any moment. It can happen to anyone.
I would say anyone going through whatever it is, it doesn't have to be cancer, chemo, breast cancer. Anyone going through something really difficult, just embrace the moment and focus on what is going on with you. Don't beat yourself. Just appreciate whatever is going on with you and you'll come through. And that's what I did. I lived in the moment and appreciated whatever it is, the suffering, the long suffering, you appreciate, and you'll come through to the other side. And this is my advice generally.
Ladies, when you're 40 or not yet 40 but feeling something, go out. Don't be scared. It's just a procedure, very short. And there is great support from health workers. So please go out because it is very curable. For me, the breast cancer. So we should not waste time. And when something is there, like when you're diagnosed, continue. Fight, do not stop. Pray all the time, every minute. And message to the family, support. Guys, if you are listening, if you have in your family that needs support like that, diagnosed, give your all, your time, your effort, because we do not know really how the treatment is going. We never know. Only God knows when we are going. So make time for that person.
Life is short. Enjoy it. And just, again, as it comes to breast cancer awareness, just educate yourself. October is the month to educate yourself about cancer, I think. Whether it's female breast cancer or male breast cancer, just educate yourself about it and just be grateful for everything that you have today, because life can be very unpredictable.
The C word is always scary, and I am never going to deny that someone who is going through this process, they will always say that, how will you understand? And I completely get you. But you have to understand that the mind controls the body. So don't give up. You have to believe that you will be fine. You have to believe that your body will be able to overcome this disease. You have to believe that you are capable of cure, because it starts from there. The medicine will do 40% of the work, but it is your mind which is going to do the rest of the 60% of the work. So it is a sincere request that connect with yourself, connect with your higher self, connect with your mind. Think more in terms of gratitude, in terms of mindfulness, in terms of positivity, because these things genuinely matter. So if you can focus more on these things, you can see your recovery is faster, you can deal with pressure, and frankly, I personally believe that you can fight this war.
A last message I would like to say to women is that believe me, you do not know the importance that you have in society and how much you affect the new generation and the people around you. And I believe that not just your small family needs you, your bigger family needs you. And that's why I want you to be knowledgeable enough and empowered enough to take action and take your health as a priority and to know that you are priority. And I want you to know that the doctors are part of the support system that you have. And you just don't be afraid, because fear will not take you anywhere. When you take action, you just go to the hospital, get checked. Even if you don't feel anything, I think this is the best way for you to save your life and stay in the life of your loved ones.
Re-engineer Hope is a tribute and heartfelt dedication to all the breast cancer survivors, to all the family members and to the caretakers who stood beside them during the toughest time. And also, it's a tribute to all the family members who have lost their loved ones during this battle. And most importantly, to all the medical professionals, researchers, and caretakers who work tirelessly to re-engineer hope in every diagnosis and treatment. Through this campaign, myself, Madhusmita Nayak, the host of Re-Engineered Podcast, want to honor everyone courage who came on board to share their story and remind everyone that hope, love, and resilience are heart of every battle fought. Help us to honor those at every step of the breast cancer journey by sharing the story with the loved ones, or someone who might have lost their loved one affected by the breast cancer. Your story does matter, and your support definitely matters to us. Let's join our hands and share these stories in your social media platform and encourage others facing breast cancer and their families. Your story is important in helping people know that they are not alone as they hold on to hope. Hope is the biggest thing in this battle.